Hi guys, Dr. Ram here. You know, one of the things that I pride myself on is trying to learn something new every day. And in that effort, I consume a lot of content, whether it's reading a book, reading a newspaper, reading an article online, or watching educational videos, or listening to a podcast. So I end up consuming quite a bit of content on a day-to-day basis. And every so often I hear something in a podcast or read something that is just so profound, and it hits me at a deeper level, and it causes me to think just really deep and contemplate, really deep about it. And I listened to something this past weekend that it was exactly like that. It was a podcast interview between Dr. Mark Hyman and Cal Newport. Cal Newport is an author of a book called Deep Work. And Cal Newport said something in that podcast. He said, "Get comfortable with being bored." And that struck me so deeply and so profoundly. And the reason I said that you should get comfortable with being bored is because we have lost the ability to do deep work. We've lost the ability, that comfort that we used to have at being bored. So now when you're working deeply on a challenging problem, instead of working through it and getting into that state of tediousness that was required to break through that issue or that challenge, we instead reach for our cell phone to take a break or to watch a funny clip on Instagram or on YouTube. And that interruption gets in the way of us solving big problems and doing deep work. That podcast, it really brought me back to a particular story that I remember. It was several years ago, back the days before we had smartphones, and I was sitting in a Sprint store because it had a flip phone and I had to transfer my contacts. And this is back in the day where you couldn't just click one link and download all your contacts. You had to take it to the store so they could link up your old phone or your new phone and transfer all the contacts for you. And they were kind of busy that day, so they said it's probably going to take about 10-15 minutes. So I was sitting in their lobby and I didn't have my cell phone. And in that 10 to 15 minutes, I found myself reaching for my cell phone in my pocket. And I was like, and then I had that fear, where did my cell phone go? And then the whole time I realized that, my cell phone is with the employee, with the Sprint store employee, because they're transferring the contacts with me. And then a few minutes later would pass and I got bored again and I reached for my cell phone again. And overall, I reached for my cell phone so many times, and it was kind of a profound instance that I was not comfortable with just being in my own skin and just being by myself. So then I made it a habit more recently to make it a concerted effort to be bored at least once a day. And that could be something as simple as not going to the toilet with my cell phone. I'm not always successful. My wife can tell you that. But another thing I try to do is go on a 10-minute walk at least once a day. No cell phone, no headphones, no music, and just enjoy my surroundings. Then something I try to do as well is just be in silence and contemplate a deep thought. And the other thing I try to do is when I'm sitting in a waiting room, not reaching for that magazine, not reaching for my cell phone, just being. We usually don't wait in a waiting room that long, maybe 5-10 minutes at the most, right? And so just practice being with myself rather than relying on my cell phone for entertainment. It reminds me of a quote from Blaise Pascal. He says, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." Really, our cell phones are challenging our ability to be content and to be happy in our own skin. And there are so many implications to that when it comes to productivity and mental health and general well-being. This is a topic that I've become so interested in and so passionate about that, in fact, I'm doing a free webinar on March 7th covering the medical implications of cell phone dependencies and methods that you can use to get over that cell phone dependency. To register for that webinar, simply subscribe to my newsletter by visiting my website at www.drram.co. And to get videos just like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel. The links are in the comments below. That's it for today. I'll see you guys next time.